Pursue freedom at all costs. So listen, it's Troy. I'm in London. I'm recording this video for you on a Tuesday morning or sort of afternoon. And, you know, we are all in this very strange situation. We are, many of us in most places in the world, we're on lockdown. We're not allowed to leave our homes except for very specific purposes or for very short periods of time. It's a strange situation. It's kind of unprecedented, really. I certainly haven't experienced anything like this in my life. And, you know, when you go onto social media, you see a lot of people reacting to this very differently. Some people are, you know, reacting in what I would describe as the right way, which I'll go into in a minute. And other people are kind of panicking. They are looking too much at the negativity of the situation and they are projecting negatively. Now, I don't want to suggest that there isn't negativity in this situation because, yes, of course, there absolutely is, and you need to take the necessary precautions that have been advised in your area, etc., etc., etc. However, if there's one lesson that surely all of us listen, you know, watching this channel, I hope, and I hope all rational guys everywhere can take from this, is that freedom surely is the most important thing that we have. And freedom is that it must be now, going forward, your 100% absolute goal. Now, pretty much everything that I've ever written about and all the content I've created throughout the whole time that I've been doing this has been about freedom in one shape or another. Now, obviously, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is the dating stuff. But when you drill down into the dating stuff, yes, I'm talking about, okay, how can you improve your chances? How can you have a better dating life? How can you do better in the marketplace and all that stuff? But what it really comes down to is I'm helping guys to have options. Obviously, firstly, helping myself to have options in the past and then showing to other guys, you know, some of the things that I did in order to achieve that. And options, what do options mean? Well, options mean freedom, because the more options you have, the more free that you are. Now, this is not to say, you know, you shouldn't be in a long-term relationship, you shouldn't be married or whatever. I mean, you can do what the hell you like, okay? But if you have options, you know that there's a degree of freedom there, because if you're in a situation that's not optimal, you can move and go and do something else instead, okay? And that must be the watchword for all of us in all areas of our lives, which is why, you know, I'm still putting out my the material related to dating because, okay, yes, we're in a situation where there's probably not an enormous amount of dating going on at the moment in many places, but by God, it's bubbling up under the surface, I can tell you, and you want to be ready for the tsunami when that hits at the end of this period. But the other thing that you want to spend this time doing is thinking about the rest of the freedom that's in your life. And if you are somebody who is, you know, working for a company, you're in that 9-to-5 job, you've got those golden handcuffs on, then now surely you must be looking at that and thinking, well, geez, you know, is this actually what I want for myself? Is this sort of constrained way of life actually how I want to exist for the rest of my time on this planet? And very likely you're going to look at it and the answer to that is going to be no. And, you know, at the moment, I would say people who have agility, that is to say, their lives are built in such a way that they're not tied down to one company, they're not tied down to one employer or indeed one client. I would say those people are in a good position. I mean, of course, look, none of us know the extent to which all of this is going to affect the global economy, and God, let's hope that it isn't as severe as some of the predictions. But regardless, you know, where you don't want to be in a situation like this, and if a situation like this repeats again in the future, where you don't want to be is too reliant on one source of income, one source of revenue. And this is what I talk about as the same thing in dating, really. You know, you don't want to be too reliant on one source. You don't want to be domain dependent, as I was saying in a video last week. So really, freedom has got to be the watchword. And I hope that you're thinking really seriously about this, because for me, I think what we're seeing now is in a period where a lot of the freedoms that we're used to have been temporarily taken away because of the situation. You have to think, well, geez, you know, when we come out of this, there's no way that I'm going to allow anybody or anything to curtail my freedoms in this way again. And part of that is looking at your dating life, and the other part of it is looking at the way that you earn money, your business life, your work life, if you like. Now, a couple of years ago, I did a course called Personal Brand Mastery, which was successful at the time. It was at a time when I was talking a lot about business. I was talking a lot about being a digital nomad. I was talking a lot about creating a personal brand online and making money from that. And what I'm going to do now is re-release that course because I think there's a real need for it at the moment. So I'm going to leave the link below. So check that out. The full value of the course is $297 I was selling it for, but I'm selling it at the moment for just $99 because I'm aware that there's a requirement for this. I'm also aware that there is, let's face it, money is tight for many in many quarters, and so I want to get it out there, but I don't want to charge over the odds for it. But in that course, and I don't want this to be a big advertorial because, if you're interested in the course, obviously get on board. If you're not, that's fine. But what I teach in that course is basically to do what I suppose I've done and what many other people that I know have done, which is to create content like this online and then find a way to monetize it, to actually make money doing it. Because when you do that, it kind of snowballs, right? Because at first you're doing it and maybe you've got a small audience and you're not making huge amounts of cash. But every day, every piece of content that you put out, you're building something. And believe me, in a situation like this, where, we're uncertain about what's going to happen, a lot of employers are uncertain about, keeping their workforce on the payroll. It's a great situation to be in if you have developed your own income, if you've developed a way of creating your money for yourself. And a way to do that, and I'm not saying it's the only way, there's plenty of other ways, but the way to do that I know about, that I can talk about, is creating a personal brand, building up that audience, building up an email list, and then being able to market to those people. So, as I say, I'll leave a link for that course below. Do check it out, have a look, see what you think. But beyond that, even if you don't want to look at my stuff, you want to, read books, there's loads and loads of great books out there. There's loads of resources about this sort of stuff. But I would just counsel you, look at what's going on out there. Look at the way your life is currently constrained. Look at the limitations that have been placed on your everyday existence, which are new. I mean, a week, 2 weeks ago, your life looked completely different to how it looks today, in most places, depending on where you are in the world, but in most places. Really think about that, and then really think, okay, so what's actually important to me, and how do I want my life to be going forward? And I think it's going to be very telling when you do that, okay? And as I say, for me, and really the ethos of this channel, is maintaining as much personal autonomy and freedom as possible in all areas of life, okay? In all areas of life. So I'll be talking more about that subject this week, creating some more content on this. Do let me know your thoughts on this. Do let me know if this is something you really would be interested in hearing more about, particularly, going down into the nuts and bolts of some of the business side of things. I mean, I'm happy to do that in this period because I do think it's important. So do let me know, drop me a comment below. Do subscribe to the channel for more updates. We will be doing more dating stuff as well, don't worry. But I just wanted to drop this in there because I think what's happening at the moment, it calls for a wider examination of all elements of your life, really. Not just the dating stuff, but the other stuff as well. And it all goes hand in hand, really, in living that sort of renegade lifestyle, which I've talked about in the past. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut it there. I hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do subscribe to the channel. Do get on my daily email list because I'll send you a free article Monday to Friday every week. So jump on board with that. The links are below. Look out for Personal Brand Mastery. The link is below. And also, of course, Renegade Dating Blueprint, which is my collection of 11 books about dating, game, and all that good stuff. Only $39 at the moment. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.